Hey everybody, today is Wednesday, August 5th, and I want to talk to you about your personal connection to your why. I was privileged enough to attend Summit this year, and I got to hear one of the speakers, Christine Dwyer, talk about this topic, and it really hit me. We hear a lot of times that when you go to these events, either Summit or Super Saturdays, that you have your aha moment. And essentially, this was really my aha moment. It really hit me. And the best part about going to these events is that although me and Rose and Jessica were all sitting there together, what impacted me may be different from them. They heard the same speaker, but we probably heard different things. It affected us differently. So I kind of took a little snippet of what she talked about, and I'm going to share with what I took out of it, and hopefully you guys can get something from this. This call is strictly all heart. So there will be no business strategies. It is all going to be heartfelt. And all right, so basically, I know you've heard it a million times, your why, your why that makes you cry. I'm sure you're sick of hearing about your why because we talk about it so much. Maybe you found your why. Maybe you're still searching for it. Maybe you have it deep down inside, but you're maybe a little too scared to share it. Or maybe it's just a little too long and too deep that you think like, I better hold off on this. Whatever the case, tonight I'm going to take you on my own personal journey. I'm going to ask you to open yourself up to your own truth. I want you to write this statement down if you're sitting or you have a piece of paper. Why do you do what you do? I don't want you to answer it. I just want you to have that sitting there for right now. Your why may change many times. You may reach your goals, therefore your why changes. But I believe there's a deep why in all of us, a deep purpose that pushes us and that has molded you into the person that you are. It's brought you here to Beachbody. And I believe that why never changes, that deep-seated why. I believe in two whys, your deep down why and your surface why. Both of them are great to share, and tonight I'm going to share you both of mine. My deep why, or what I like to call my personal why mission statement, is forgiveness. And when I say forgiveness, I mean this. My story is about a little girl who grew up with just her mom. My father and my mom were never together. They divorced when I was 3 months. He wasn't really in the picture. When he finally did come back in, he brought a storm of abuse. Alcoholic, drug abuse, physical, mental. He lied and manipulated and eventually took his own life. When I wasn't around that with my father, I was subjected to another alcoholic who was my stepfather. I watched these two men mentally and physically abuse the ones that I loved. I eventually took myself out of the equation and I went numb. Somehow I evolved into the protector. I fought back, and I fought back really, really hard. But something happens to a little girl when she fights back that hard. She loses a piece of herself, an innocence. I grew really angry. And I let those two men define my life. Soon enough, I was doing the same thing that they were doing. I was drinking, I was doing drugs, I was hurting people around me, I was lying, and I was manipulating. And most importantly, I was hurting myself. I let my circumstances feed into my head that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't smart enough, I didn't come from the right family, I didn't have enough money, and I just wasn't meant to be anything. So I floated by through high school, I dropped out of college, and I let my life slip by because I was letting my past hold me down. This behavior continued for a while, even after I met my husband. It wasn't until I became responsible for another life that I chose to do more with myself. So when I say my why mission statement is forgiveness, what I mean is I'm forgiving all those who have hurt me. I'm asking forgiveness for those that I've hurt, and I'm allowing myself to be forgiven. I once let that story define me. It has defined me most of my life. Literally, almost 28 years I've let that define myself. I'm now using it to drive me. I want you to think about that statement. I once let my own story define me, and now I'm using it to drive me. That's powerful stuff. And you know what that comes from? Personal development. You can't skip personal development. It is truly amazing. I am not the same person I was a year ago because of personal development. We all have our own deep whys, and I encourage you to write yours down and flip the script. Find your own mission statement. That was my deep why. That's what is continually to drive me no matter what's going on. But what I'm working for right now is my surface why. And the other night, I was hit by it. It kind of slapped me in the face and kicked me back into gear. I was sitting on my computer Sunday night and I was watching everybody's success. And I was pissed off. I was watching everybody get great posts out there and everyone was liking it. I'm watching rank advancements. I'm watching people, paychecks are going higher and they're getting new coaches on their team. And I'm just sitting there letting it fester. And I'm thinking, why not me? And there comes that word again, why? Why am I not ranking up? Why am I not making enough money? Why haven't I found a new coach? There's a quote that I love. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Now, you may interpret that a different way, but as I see it, you get what you give. You're exactly where you are by how much work you put in. And in that moment, I wasn't putting any work in. I was letting my excuses hold me back. I'm too tired. My kids are being crazy. I had a rough day. My internet connection's being slow. I'll just get it back tomorrow. I'll get back to it tomorrow. My husband's leaving again for work, and I'm super sad. So I let my excuses get to me. I shut my computer. I was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm just going to get to it tomorrow. I walked into the kitchen and pretended to cook because I didn't want to say goodbye to my husband. I was pretty upset about it. He's been working 7 straight days nonstop. And he got home on Sunday, showered, and was leaving again for DC and would be away from us for another 5 days. And I didn't want him to go. I was sad. I don't like seeing my family not together. I hate when my kids ask me why they don't get to see their dad. So when he came into the kitchen and said, Danielle, you're going to say goodbye to me? I broke down and I lost it. There I was standing in the middle of my kitchen, sobbing on my husband's shoulder, crying because I didn't want him to leave. I didn't stop crying until I heard my 5-year-old's voice saying, Mommy, why are you crying? Of course, I assured him that everything was okay and I was just missing daddy. And he looked up at me with these big brown eyes and said words of wisdom that only a 5-year-old can say. Mommy and daddies have to work, but it's okay because soon we'll play. And there it was. That was my surface why. Staring right at me in my face, telling me to go work and eventually I'll get to play. I said goodbye to my husband. I wiped my tears. I put the kids to bed. I walked back downstairs and I opened my laptop. See, in that moment, I opened myself up. And what happens when you open yourself up? You get better. You get better at taking criticism, even if it's from yourself. You get better at realizing a current situation. You get better at picking yourself up. Why? Because I know who I am. That deep why is always pushing me. I know what I'm working towards. I believe in what I am and what I'm doing. I see the bigger picture here. And I'm committed to personal growth. So again, I ask you, take a look at that statement I had you write. Why do you do what you do? I love this business and everything that it has to offer. But I will be the first one to tell you it will consume some of your time. It will consume some of your patience. And sometimes it's going to push you before you think you're ready to be pushed. And then you'll have to make that decision. Will you let your why push you or hold you back? So I want you to think of your current situation in life. Job, relationships, friendships, family, house, hard times, whatever you're going through. And I want you to list numbers 1 through 10. I want you to write down 10 things that are limiting you right now. And I'm actually really want you to write these down. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes on the clock. All right. So if you didn't finish your list, you can finish it later. But tonight, when you're by yourself, I want you to take a look at that list. And I want you to identify what's on there. And then I want you to use them. I want you to flip the script. Instead of looking at these as reasons why you can't, look at them as why you must. There's a quote from one of my favorite personal development books. It's called You Are a Badass. I'm sure most of you have read it because it is the best book. And if you haven't, please get it. It's so great. But the quote is, if something negative happens in your life, feel it, learn from it, let it go, and get back to focusing on the life you're excited to live. We are all coaches here. Your heart and your story is what sets us apart. Like attracts like. If you are a coach to make money and you're only focusing on the products, you're going to fail. People want to buy you, not the products. They want to hear your story and how you've overcome your obstacles. And you may just be thinking like, hey, this is just a fitness program. But if you really think about it, people who need to lose weight or whatever situation there is, usually the health issues and the weight issues are attached to something else. So look into your life and those 10 things that I had you list and use those to help others. Until you can open yourself up and be vulnerable, you won't be successful. You can't force this or fake it in the business. You have to grow. You have to fix you. So that story that maybe you have shared or maybe you haven't shared. You need to and changing people's lives. You're actually dealing with a human being. They're not numbers. They're not Success Club points. They're people going through probably what you've gone through once or twice. You have to learn to inspire them, and your story will. Don't hide behind the products. Amateurs lead with the products. They lead with the new program, Size or T25 or Shakeology or Insanity. Professionals lead by the transformation, the story, and the heart behind it. So often when a new product comes out, and I've been guilty of this myself, we are so quick to just slap on a stock post and a picture saying, hey, look at the new program. Come get it from me. Come buy from me. Look how cool this is. And that's typical. That's an amateur move. Don't be an amateur. Beachbody's mission statement, if you walk through it, the elevators, so I'm told. I've never actually walked through the elevators, but apparently, maybe one day. No, actually, I will one day, but the mission statement says, help people achieve their goals and enjoy a healthy, fulfilling life. That's a wonderful mission statement, but that's not my mission statement. That's not why I'm missing hours of sleep or missing time with my kids or missing time with my family. That's not why I'm working at 12 o'clock at night and I'm getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I believe in that statement, but that's not my statement. That mission statement is definitely in my heart and I believe it, but that's not my heart. You need to find your heart. You need to find your personal purpose attached to your deep why, that mission state why that I talk about. You need to define who you are and why you are going to keep doing what you do. It's up to you to step up and make those goals and look at your why and give it all you got. It's up to you to take the step forward. Christine Dwyer ended with a true story at the end of her program, and I thought that we should end on that as well because it really is a great story. She was telling a story about how there's a bunch of people at the train station sitting on a platform waiting for the train to come in, and a child fell on the tracks, and the train was starting to come in. It was a life or death situation. Everyone sat there and they yelled, help, help, somebody quick, help this kid. What did the people do? They sat there and they pointed and they waited for somebody else to help them. Nobody did anything. It wasn't until a homeless man jumped on the tracks and laid his body over top of the child right before the train came. And he covered them and the train went over both of them. It saved that kid's life because one man decided to impact someone else's life and save it. You have the ability to do that. That's got to be what you feel every day when you're trying to help these people, that you have the ability to impact this person and save this person's life. It starts with one, and you have to decide it's up to you. I'm going to leave with this quote. The final destination is worth it. So please, whatever you do, refuse to give up. So your homework tonight is to go over those 10 things. If you didn't write those 10 things, I want you to write them out. And I also want you to write out from that first statement, why do you do what you do? I don't want it to be, well, I want to make more money. Of course, you don't have to share it with me, but for your own sake, find out what's pushing you no matter what, and find out what's driving you right now. Now, I don't know if there's going to be any questions because, like I said, this was really just a heartfelt conversation, but I will leave it open to anybody if they do have any questions.
If you guys have any questions for Danielle, at the bottom left of your screen, you'll see like a little microphone. And if you click on it, you can unmute yourself. Even if you just want to tell Danielle, awesome, amazing job.
Yeah, or if you're feeling inspired to tell your why, go for it. It doesn't matter. All right.
Actually, well, I want to say something, Danielle. I want to say that that's a real awesome. I'm sorry you can't see me because I'm driving home from work right now in the dark here. But I just want to say it's really awesome that you shared your story. I mean, that's really tough. The cards you were kind of dealt, but it's really amazing how you turned something negative into something really positive. Where you could have said, well, because of this, you know, I'm just going to keep living this way. But instead you said, well, because I was in a situation, I'm going to learn something from it and I'm going to help other people from it. And I just think that is one of the awesome things about being a Beachbody coach and being with people like you know, who've been there and then want to turn around and help other people. I just want to say I'm very inspired by that, Danielle. And congratulations, too.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if anybody has any further questions and want to contact me later, feel free. Or if you need a little help developing your own why, I'd be happy to help you. And make sure that you are on the call next Wednesday. Every Wednesday, there will be a call from a different leader. And, you know, all this information is good. We're here just to help you. And I hope you guys take it and run with it and have a great rest of the week.
Thank you, Danielle. That was amazing.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks, guys.